I've been together with my girlfriend Rachel for 3 years. We met as high school sweethearts and have become even closer throughout university. Not once had she ever had any weird kinks or anything like that. I'm shaking as I'm sharing this right now. The first abnormal behavior from Rachel was on a Friday night 2 weeks ago. We were cuddling on the sofa watching Netflix before I suddenly felt a slight nibble on my finger. Thinking it was a bug, I pulled my finger away instinctively and screamed in excruciating pain. Looking down, I saw Rachel, my finger in her mouth, her teeth sinking into it. She was biting into it with a huge grin on her face, like a dog carrying around a chewy toy. "Ah, geez, Rachel, what the hell?" I said, gently tapping her forehead and pulling my finger away. I could see a bit of blood dripping down onto the sofa, the feeling of multiple needles stabbing the wound. "Shit," I muttered, getting up. I ran to the kitchen. "Rachel, what the fuck?" As I soaked the paper towel with cold water and dabbed it onto my finger, I heard scurrying from behind. "Aw, babe, I'm sorry." It was Rachel, hugging me from behind and burying her face onto my back. "Why would you bite me like that?" I asked while wiping the wound. "At least warn me beforehand. Are your teeth okay?" Rachel giggled. "You just tasted so good I couldn't help it." She then scurried away like a 5-year-old. I found it a bit weird but simply ignored it. "Love you, weirdo," I shouted across the apartment, not helping but smiling. More than anything, I was happy that at least she was more open to trying new stuff out with me. At first I thought this would be a one-time thing, maybe her trying to spice up our sex life or something. Maybe she was discovering new things she found online, or she was pranking me. I couldn't guess. Plus, she began acting normal again after that, as if nothing had ever happened. However, I should have been prepared for what was going to come next. A week later, on another Friday night, Rachel and I were laying down in the bedroom and making out. As things started escalating, she grabbed me by the shirt and ripped it apart, pulling me towards her with more force than I've ever seen her use. Pulling away, she groaned and pinned me against the wall. She remained still for a moment, looking at me in the eyes, licking her lips. She was sweating, panting, hyperventilating. Grinning, she got closer to my face and sunk her teeth into my cheek. I shouted, a sharp pain surging through my face. I pushed her away and felt a small chunk of skin ripping out of my face like a Velcro. "Ow, what the fuck, Rachel?" I yelled, holding my cheek. She looked at me, smiling from ear to ear. She looked relieved, calm. A piece of my skin was in her mouth. She cackled, swallowing the piece whole like a fucking dog. "You were just so yummy I couldn't resist tasting you," she whispered, gently rubbing the part of the cheek she literally just ripped out. With as simple as a touch on the wound, she grinned, as if she wanted more again. Genuinely, until that moment, I had never seen anyone look at anything so obsessively. I pulled her hand away, furious. "I'm serious. You need to fucking stop." I hate raising my voice, but I had to in this instance. "You just pulled out a chunk out of my skin. Do you realize how hard you're biting me?" This felt like it was transcending further from just her wanting to experiment shit with me. This genuinely felt dangerous. Rachel didn't say a word. Instead, she simply kept staring at my face with infatuation, her lips slightly parted like she was ready for round 2. It wasn't obvious, but I noticed a bit of drool coming out of her mouth like a hungry animal waiting to capture its prey. She licked her lips, and whilst gazing at my face without uttering a single word, she quietly groaned, her face inching closer to mine. The closer she got, the more she began shaking, as if she couldn't contain herself. What the actual fuck is wrong with her, I thought to myself. My heart dropped and shivers went down my spine. Never did I know I would feel this way from seeing Rachel excited. Not excitement myself, but terror. I got up, grabbing a hold of the wound, and rushed to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. Not just out of pain, but out of fear. Out of fear that my own girlfriend would hurt me. No longer did I feel safe near her. Not until she apologized and changed her behavior, at least. What the fuck is up with her? I asked myself, physically repulsed and disturbed. I put on a Band-Aid and sat down on the cold floor of the bathroom. As I contemplated what Rachel even just did to me, I chose to sleep there for the night. Every small sound I heard made me flinch awake in a panic. No matter what, the feeling of being in an unsafe environment just lingered. As the sun rose and time came to wake up, not like I slept to begin with, I slowly unlocked the door of the bathroom and gently pushed it open. Rachel wasn't in the house. She had left without saying a word. I heaved a sigh of relief. I grabbed my phone that was in the living room charging and was bombarded with different text messages, all from every minute of the night until 2 hours ago, all from Rachel. I'm sorry, babe. 1:45 a.m. I kept reading even more. I'll be more careful next time. 1:56 a.m. Please forgive me. 2:07 a.m. The messages progressively got more disturbing. I love you. I would never want to hurt you. 2:32 a.m. You just tasted so good I couldn't control myself. I'm sorry. 3 a.m. Your face looks so cute while sleeping. Please come out and let's make up. I love you too much to leave you. 3:10 a.m. I can't live without your taste, but I will, even if it kills us. 3:12 a.m., etc., etc. I dropped my phone on the floor and sat down on the bed, shaking. My mind was blank and couldn't think of any options. I wanted to curl into a ball and cry. Rachel was gone for the entire day. I tried texting her, calling her, but nothing. I spent the whole day worrying, trapped in a dilemma between wanting to help Rachel, but also stay away from her. I shot her a text saying that I loved her and that I wanted to work through it together. Then, turning off my phone, I hopped into bed and went to sleep. I woke up a few hours later to a strange feeling that something was in the room with me. I looked next to me, but Rachel wasn't sleeping there. I checked my phone to see if she responded. Unfortunately, she did respond with this. You look so delicious while asleep. I just want another taste, please. Just one more taste. 4:23 a.m. sent 2 minutes ago. This was followed by a voice message from a minute ago. Rachel sounded extremely distressed in the message. She was panting, whimpering. I could even hear shuffling, as if she was pacing around a room nervously. Please, I heard her say, I need more. As I was about to call the police out of genuine fear of my girlfriend, I saw something catch my eye. The phone light just barely let me notice it. Rachel was on top of the bedside table on her side of the bed. She stood on all fours, biting her fingernail while staring at me. Her lips were parted, her eyes widened, so wide in fact that her face was slightly stretched out. I could barely see the drool dripping down from her mouth onto the floor. She looked infatuated once again, hungry, obsessed, like she didn't want it, but needed it to survive. I screamed, punching the light switch and booking it out of my room. I could hear Rachel shouting back from behind, her footsteps rattling faster than a bee's wings. Never would I have ever expected that I would fear Rachel more than anything. As I made it to the door, I managed to unlock it before Rachel clung onto me, pushing me onto the ground. I pushed her away as I felt her teeth scratch into my arm. Shouting, I grabbed my arm in sheer pain. It was dripping with more blood than you'd see from a stab wound, all from a simple bite. Shit, I muttered under my breath. Without having time to think, I saw Rachel crash onto the wall and instantly get back up, as if I hadn't just pushed her with all my might. She purred, her voice deeper than I have ever heard it. Demonic, even. Rushing towards me, I managed to just dodge her teeth from slicing my nose. Staggering backwards, I grunted as I felt thousands of needles stab my nose. Rachel started drooling as she was biting onto a piece of my nose skin. I was shaking, looking at the girl I once loved and now fear for my life. My nose, my arm were both in excruciating pain. Looking around the room, I waited until Rachel sprinted back towards me, her scream sounding more like a demon than the woman I fell in love with. Ducking, I ran towards the door. I screamed, her nails digging into my back. Grabbing one of her shoes from the floor, I managed to hit her head. From the split second that she let go, I took the chance and booked it to the car, locking the doors and slamming the pedal as hard as I could. As I saw Rachel jumping onto the windshield, I managed to just barely swing her away through the most aggressive turn I had ever attempted. Fleeing for my life, I managed to drive away. I could feel the taste of blood dripping from my nose and down my chin. The blood dripping from my arm hit the floor. My back imprinted the seat, the feeling of what felt like Rachel's claws digging into them still prevalent. I didn't even have time to put a shirt on. Regardless, I was just glad I was out of there, for now at least. It felt like forever before I made it to wherever the hell I was in the forest. Panting, I turned off the car and made sure that all the doors were locked before taking a breather. That takes me to where we are now. I'm in massive pain, bleeding, shivering in fear, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what happened to Rachel, why she's acting this way, or anything related to the situation. However, I only know one thing. I am scared and I am fearing for my life, with injuries painful enough to make it near impossible to defend myself if she comes back for more. As I share this, I can't help but feel like I'm being watched, like if Rachel is somehow nearby, waiting until I'm vulnerable enough for her to strike again. I keep hearing footsteps from afar getting closer. I can hear her demonic, deep voice getting closer to me. And worse of all, I have nowhere to go. I don't know what to do. I need help. I want this to end. Please.